Everyone, welcome to the show. So, Donald Trump voters are starting to realize he's not actually all about America first. He's not actually really interested in helping them. He is about Donald Trump first. He's about helping his rich buddies who in turn help him and line his pockets. And I have to say, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. I'm having a McDonald's moment over here. If you had not heard, this whole thing started when racist Trump humper Laura Loomer took issue with one of Trump's picks. This is a guy who's going to be the artificial intelligence advisor for the Trump administration. So he chose a man named Sriram, I think is how you pronounce it, Sriram Krishnan. He was born in India. And he is a very big proponent of HB1 visas. So these are visas that allow foreign people to work and reside in America. There is a lot of debate about this, and there's a nuanced way to look at all this stuff. But of course, everybody just goes into their own camps. There are two sides and won't hear the other side. And oddly enough, I find myself on the side of Laura Loomer and Steve Bannon. So that's how crazy this thing is, but let me explain. So Loomer railed against the practice of importing overseas talent, and she said she wants to abolish, or she thinks that the government should abolish HB1 visas. So Trump's other minions, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, went off on her. They go off on her on Twitter, and it got really ugly really fast because they're also hugely in favor of H-1Bs. So Ramaswamy posted this lengthy tweet that you see here, basically slamming American workers. In it, for those on the podcast, it says, in part, quote, "American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence." He also goes on to what I think to reveal his deep insecurities about his teen years because he wrote, quote, "A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers." And then Ramaswamy proved he is completely and totally out of touch with young Americans. He wrote, quote, "More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV. More creating, less chillin'. More extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall." Hanging out at the mall. Really? Okay. Hello, Vivek. 1980 called. It wants you to fly back in your DeLorean. Right? I mean, Marty and Doc are waiting for you back in the 80s. Oh my God. Anyway, so Musk got in on this whole thing, on the pro-immigrant, anti-American worker action. And he wrote, quote, "There is a permanent shortage of excellent engineering talent. It is the fundamental limiting factor in Silicon Valley." He also, somebody else had posted something slamming American workers, basically calling them retards, which I hate that word, but that is the word that they used. And he liked that comment. He liked that because people were going off on Elon. This person was standing up for him. And so Elon liked that tweet. So Loomer fires back. She slams both Musk and Ramaswamy. She accuses them of using Trump for their own interests. And she posted this tweet that you see here saying, quote, "What's also sickening is the silence over the extreme disrespect toward the Maga base that worked so hard to get Trump elected. I guess since we don't have billions of dollars, we don't really matter anymore." mean, little late to the party, but okay. I mean, show me the lie, right? Loomer is vile, but as the saying goes, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And she is so right. That is what it boils down to. So this whole thing escalated. The insults escalated rapidly. And then wildly insecure authoritarian Elon Musk suspends Loomer's account, takes away her blue verification checkmark on Twitter, and then does the same thing with many other people, other MAGA people who were slamming him. So as you see here in this screenshot, Twitter suspended her for 12 hours and said that she violated Twitter's rules, which we all know what it is. He doesn't like to be called names. He doesn't like to be called out. He's like, the most insecure man next to Donald Trump that you could find. So Musk, like I said, he suspends another bunch of people, a bunch of other high profile blue check mark Trump supporters because they were insulting him. And then he posts this. He's whining on Twitter, quote, "I am constantly insulted on this platform." Aw, womp womp and thoughts and prayers, Elon. This just goes to show, like, all the money, all the power in the world, it cannot piece together a fragile ego. You cannot buy an ego, right? You can't like buy self-assurance. You can't buy a spine. I mean, anyway, so a large contingent of MAGA went ballistic. They're going off on Musk because they actually do believe in the concept of training and hiring American workers. And so, as you could have guessed, Musk didn't take their insults and attacks very well. He had a complete meltdown and he just went off and insulted Trump's base. He put out these Twitter tirades, just a whole series of them. So the day after Christmas, Musk posted this, quote, "My tolerance for subtards is limited." Then December 27th, he wrote, quote, "These contemptible fools must be removed from the Republican Party, root and stem." So then he takes a bunch of incoming for that tweet. So he tries to minimize the damage. So he posts this next comment that you see here saying, quote, "The contemptible fools I'm referring to are those in the Republican Party who are hateful, unrepentant racists. They will absolutely be the downfall of the Republican Party if they are not removed." I mean, just light bulbs going off everywhere in the MAGA base, right? I mean, you've got Loomer realizing that, hey, actually, they just cater to the billionaires' needs, and Donald Trump is going to do whatever the billionaires want. And then you have Musk going, there are racists in the Republican Party, and they should be removed, or it's going to destroy the party. I mean, wow. I just want to send them like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, right? "Welcome to the party, pal." It's like, where have you all been? But after receiving hours and hours of angry comments from Trump supporters, Musk posted this little nugget. This was around 11:30 that same night. So this is December 27th. Quote, "The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." So, and "fuck yourself" was in all caps. So, yeah, 'tis the season to be jolly, right? So the gloves are off. It has devolved into a complete and total brawl between right-wing elitists and the anti-immigrant MAGA base. So Republican Congresswoman and fake populist, by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she gets in on this action, and she writes in this Twitter post, quote, "Too many of our young people are killing their bodies and minds on alcohol and drugs, wasting years and money earning useless college degrees, chasing unrealistic dreams, spending all their time trying to be the next YouTuber slash content creator slash social media influencer instead of pursuing a useful skill set slash trade education in order to become a part of our much needed American workforce. If you fall in this category, put down the selfie light and go apply for a job and replace the H-1B visa holders and all the other skilled labor jobs that foreign workers are taking and American companies are desperately trying to hire. It's called building a career. You work your way up." So much to say here, so much. I just hope that all of those young people who went out and voted for Trump are paying attention. All these people who have embraced MAGA. Because, first of all, this is a woman who was handed a job, who was handed a well-oiled business. She is basically a Nepo baby. I mean, her father wasn't, a billionaire or anything, or even, I don't know, he could be a millionaire. I don't know. But she took over a business that her father started. Marjorie Taylor Greene tries to make herself out to be this entrepreneur who started a construction company. No, that was her father's business, and he handed it to her. She didn't start shit. And I guarantee someone with her messed up brain could not do so. Second of all, she says useless college degree. Now, honestly, there are a lot of useless college degrees out there, and I don't think that a college degree is the be-all, end-all. I think that people can be wildly successful, become very, very wealthy without a college degree. But the types of jobs that she's talking about require that you have a college degree, require that you have knowledge in these industries. So she's talking out of both sides of her mouth. Anyway, there are a bunch of people who are paying attention on the MAGA right because they are now asking on social media, wow, did we maybe get played? You did. Let's cut to the chase. Spoiler alert, you did. You got played. So over on Trump's failing social media site, one of his own supporters, someone who loves him, wrote, quote, "I knew all this crap was coming from him," meaning Elon Musk, "and Khan Swami." She then goes on to say, quote, "Did real Donald Trump know? Is he in on it? Has MAGA been duped? Let's see how the boss, real Donald Trump, at Team Trump reacts to all the negative feedback on the Doge twins." So that's what they're calling Ramaswamy and Musk now, or the Doge twins. So another Truth Social user posted, quote, "At real Donald Trump, we didn't support you so you could bring and keep more foreign nationals here to further drain our resources. Hashtag America first." And then the same guy goes off on student visas for some reason, as if they're the same thing. And then another person responded to one of Trump's posts and asked him, quote, "Clarify your position on this now. Are you selling us out to big tech, or are you America first? Buy American, hire American. Remember?" And then there were a bunch of other posts, a bunch of other similar things being said, people calling for the end of Doge and Musk's involvement with MAGA. So over on Twitter, there was one user who posted in part, quote, "Elon called us subtards retards, unworthy of debate. He entered the Republican Party less than 6 months ago, and before that, he was one of the biggest parts of the problem with liberal authoritarianism. Now he thinks he has the right to root out who he disagrees with. No, no, and no. Elon is backpedaling as hard as he can right now because we exposed his Indian slave labor fraud. And now we will expose it all. There's also been a dogpile, though, on Laura Loomer and other people who are against the HB1 visa. So this one was the most hateful that I found. They actually called Loomer, this person, the C word and the B word. So for those on the podcast, it says, quote, "You are a racist B word." They use the actual word. "And everything that is wrong with the Republican Party. Elon Musk and other H-1B holders have more class in their pinky than you ever will. I hope real Donald Trump realizes what a C word you are." Again, they didn't say C word, they actually used the word. "And throws you in the trash where you belong." So then more dogpile. So former Trump advisor Steve Bannon gets in on this. He weighs in on his show. Now, he is another fake populist, but as I said, he comes down on the side of Laura Loomer, which I agree with, and the side of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because he knows his audience is filled with racists. So, and again, there's such nuance to this issue because, yes, the H-1B visas are being used inappropriately, right? They're being used to bring over random workers, not people who are highly skilled, which is what it's supposed to be used for, but like labor at McDonald's, like people who are literally just, taking out the trash. I don't mean to downplay how hard they work, but, people who are making the fries at McDonald's. I mean, that is not what the H-1B visa was meant for. So it is being exploited. It's also being exploited to keep the wages down. And these H-1B visa holders, once they're brought here, they are beholden to that company. So if they get fired for any reason, they're then deported. And they know that. So the employers use this against them. They can just exploit the workforce. They can, make them work obscene amount of hours. They can make them do things that they normally wouldn't want to do because, or can't do because their whole future is riding on this, whether they're living here in the US and working this job or deported back to their home country, that's on the line. So there need to be changes. So that's why I say I side with Loomer and Bannon on this, because yes, it does need to be changed. Now, Bannon and Loomer, is that really why they don't like this? No, it's because they're deep down racist. But anyway, check out what Bannon had to say.
This whole thing about, we want to get all this and they're only geniuses, that's H-1B visas. That's not what it's about. It's about taking American jobs and bringing over essentially what become indentured servants at lower wages. The whole thing's a scam. This thing's a scam by the oligarchs in Silicon Valley to basically take jobs from American citizens, give them to what become indentured servants from foreign countries, and then pay them less.
So Bannon also took a shot at Musk. He was over on his Getter account. It's a social media platform for those who don't know. Over there, he wrote, quote, "Someone please notify Child Protective Services. Need to do a wellness check on this toddler." So he's calling Musk a toddler. Now, again, what I find most amusing about this rift is the fact that some Trump voters are just now realizing that there is a large swath of his base that is completely racist. So case in point is this Indian American. It's a Trump supporter. He voted for Trump. He works in the tech industry. He posted this lengthy tweet in which he said, quote, I'm deeply questioning my decision to support the Republican Party after witnessing the persistent and dehumanizing attacks directed at me and my community by individuals who, despite hiding behind a veneer of respectability, openly harbor and amplify racist ideologies. I've tried to hold on to the belief that these voices represent a vocal minority, not the broader values of the party. But time and again, I am disheartened as accounts with massive followings, many of them wielding significant influence, parrot unhinged conspiracy theories, and perpetuate overtly racist tropes without consequence. This isn't just about isolated comments or fringe behavior. It's about a pattern that reveals an uncomfortable truth about the party's failure to unequivocally reject bigotry. These attacks aren't simply offensive, they are alienating two communities whose values, work ethic, and aspirations align with many conservative principles, yet find themselves consistently vilified. So it goes on even longer. I'm not going to bore you with the rest, but I'm sure you're all shaking your heads right now, asking the same question that I am. Like I said earlier, where the hell has this man been for the past 9 years? This is the best and brightest in the country. This guy is like highly educated, highly intelligent, but he's just now realizing this, that, oh my God, there are racists in the Republican Party. Like, they hate Black and brown people. I mean, I know you're busy hiring people, guy. I know you're busy writing code and all that, but maybe you could have pulled your head out long enough to realize you were voting against your best interests. Just a thought, from someone who doesn't have a fancy college degree. But anyway, this man is now complaining because he is apparently receiving threats from MAGA land. Another big shock to all of us who have actually been paying attention, right? I mean, I hope that they stop. I don't want anyone to receive threats. But seriously, like, where has he been? So let's hope this guy and others wake up, they realize they made a mistake by voting for the race-baiting apricot antichrist. In the meantime, though, I'm sure he'll find some comfort in the fact that Donald Trump actually agrees with him. Because Trump finally, after like a whole week of all of this melee and this civil war breaking out, he finally broke his silence on the matter and he announced he loves H-1B visas. He loves the idea of bringing foreign workers in. So not only that, but he was interviewed on the phone by the New York Post, and Trump actually told them, quote, "I have many H-1B visas on my properties. I've been a believer in H-1B. I have used it many times. It's a great program." I mean, first of all, no, he has not always been in favor of it. In fact, in 2016, he was vehemently opposed to it, supposedly, while obviously using it for his own companies. But now he's done this flip-flop. So, Mr. America First now is admitting that he's using this program to employ these workers for his own companies and properties. So, yeah. MAGA is now waking up to the reality that Trump will always do what's right for Trump. He will always do what's right for his wealthy buddies because it benefits him. So sorry to break it to you, MAGA, but unless you have billions of dollars and unless you can donate massive amounts of money to Trump, he doesn't give a shit about you. He does not care about you and your family. That is what we tried to warn you before you cast your vote for him, and you guys said we had Trump derangement syndrome. That's just a fact. That is who he is. That's who he's always been. That's why one of the first and only major things that he ever did during his first term was to pass a massive giveaway to the wealthy. His first order of business was that massive tax cut that over 80% of the benefit went to the top 1%, the wealthiest people in the United States. Almost none of it went to the middle class. A tiny portion went to the lowest income earners, and that's it. I mean, we don't have to wonder what he's going to do because he already did it in the first term. We don't have to wonder where his loyalties lie because he showed us in the first 4 years. Now, I'm sorry for those of you who are just now 18, 19 years old and were in elementary school during his first term, you know, and didn't know any better, but your family should have warned you. Your family should have grabbed you by the collar and said, hey, check this out. This is what he did the first time. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about the working class. This is why he's a union buster. This is why he and Elon sat on a Twitter space and literally sat there giggling like schoolgirls over the fact that Elon fires people when they try to implement any kind of union or when they try to go on strike at his companies. They thought it was very funny. So wake up, MAGA. Anyway, this is really fun for those of us on the left, I know. And unfortunately, you know, we're all going to have to live with the consequences, but this is the only way. This is the only way people are going to learn, by getting slugged in the face themselves. Not physically, metaphorically speaking, but yeah, this is the only way to drain the Kool-Aid from the veins, apparently. So we'll see where this all shakes out, but there you go. Donald Trump will always and forever be for Donald Trump and his wealthy friends. Period. Full stop. End of story. All right, guys, I'll keep you posted if there's any new developments in this saga. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.